Hubert had them so well prepared. And, you know, they didn't play well against us the last time. And their program, like ours, is built on a lot of pride. And they showed that today in coming here and really playing just a solid 40 minutes against us. And it started with defense, but their guards, you know, we couldn't keep them in front of us. And, you know, Baycott has been the player of the year in our conference, and he showed that again today. They're a really good team. They're a really good team, and they played a lot better than we did today. I felt that I was worried about a few things going into the game. One, them, you know, because they're good. But also, you know, we had just played the 3 road games in 6 days, and we won the regular season. And that's happened, you know, when you win, like that's like, you don't just win a game, you win the culmination of a number of games. So it's an accomplishment. And then you have this game, which is like its own entity. And we were never able to move to that level. And that's on me to do that. And then, you know, the last few days has been like so really good. And it's been like a celebration of our program. And because I'm stopping coaching, it's kind of like a celebration of me, which I don't like that, but it talked about a whole bunch of things. And so, you know, basically we're living in a penthouse the last few days, you know, with room service and everyone saying nice things, and we didn't play hungry today. And again, I understand how this can happen. And in Carolina, they could have helped us by not being so good, but they didn't. They were that good, and even if we were ready, we may not have beaten them today because they were that good. So for that, we need to move on. Really, X and O questions are not really relevant today. Because any X and O that we did would not have, you know, I hate to use a Navy term, but keep a ship afloat, okay? And our ship was going to sink today, no matter what, X and O's. As far as afterwards, and seeing so many of my former players, you know, it's beautiful. The honors from alumni, from our athletic department. I've forgotten what my high school number, it's been so long. I said, who's 44? And I said, that was you. And that was good. Obviously, the best thing is to have those scholarships in our family's name. And for me to have my whole family here, and, you know, for my 10 grandkids to witness that and witness the love and that this community has given me and my family is so good. And so it's time to move on now. You know, I want to put this away, you know, the regular season, and then now we're in the year 0 and 0 part of the season. And we'll be that twice. We'll be that right now until next Sunday or before, and then next Sunday we'll be it again. And hopefully the lessons that we've learned from playing the 31 games, and especially this last one, will help us in both those situations. So any questions that you all might have? And whatever.
Mike, what were your emotions like as the kind of, I mean, I guess that, you know, even the clock's ticking down, and
yeah.
What are you thinking? What's going through your head at that point?
Yeah, you know, Jeff, thank you for the question. It has been emotional, but, you know, before the game, you're thinking, and you get a little teary-eyed, and then you say, whoa, I can't do that. And so then you go on the court, and then you feel it. You know, actually, when all the players were there, it was just like, wow. It wasn't as emotional as it was great. But when I came out for the game, you know, you're supposed to be in character, just the music, you start crying. And then the game started, and I was crying more about how we were playing. But I thought I was good. I didn't coach well because we played so bad, but I don't think the emotion hurt that. But, you know, it's good to be emotional. You know, I mean, especially about good things. You can be emotional when someone is sick or dies, or, you know, in those type of situations. But if you're crying because of joy, all right, you're a pretty lucky person. And so that's where my tears were, of joy. And so now, let's go. Let's get going. And but a little bit worn out. Yeah, a little bit worn out.
Mike, you mentioned you might have to have a meeting with yourself to kind of prepare yourself for the emotion today. Since we saw you Thursday, kind of what we were thinking
No,
in that
the
regard?
meetings with myself were great, you know, because myself listened to me. You know, it's the meetings I had with my team that didn't work. So no, I thought the staff and I thought we did a good job, but, you know, we weren't able to have 2 hard days of practice. We had only one, and that's the day before a game, and just to try to get them past the fact of we won and all that, and that's on me. I should have done, in looking back, no matter what, I should have had Thursday set a tone better. Instead of trying to get past the past, I should have set a tone for the future. And that's part of leadership, where it's a choice. And if I had to do it over again, I would have made a different choice. Sound like I'm really being Catholic today. I'm going to confession here. Hopefully, don't give me big penance, all right? All right, just 3 Hail Marys.
Basketball aside, was there anything about today that caught you off guard or was unexpected for you? I mean, you've been thinking about this for a couple days and longer than that now, but was there anything about it that you weren't prepared for mentally or that caught you off guard?
Well, afterwards, that level of, and our fans, you know, that's after, that they all stayed. The sight of my 10 grandchildren was really, really good. And, but before that, leading up to the game, I was amazed at the number of people in Krzyzewskiville. You know, like the atmosphere for a whole day was incredible, just incredible. And I was hoping, because our guys walked through there and all that, that would, you know, help us. But I didn't think I'd cry, but I did. And, but that's all right. That's all right. I'm glad this is over. It's time to, let's just coach and see what the hell happens in the tournaments. You know, get back to, this is kind of like a surreal few days, you know, and a big part of it, I think, occurred because we had already won. So in some respects, you don't feel the pressure of, like, we have to win that game. And it, it just happens that way. And you know, people talk about the number of wins or championships, but you lose more championships than you win. Thank goodness we haven't lost more games than we've won. But and we have to learn from losing, and what beats you. They beat us and we didn't, I don't want to take away from, when I'm saying this, is not that they were terrific. They were terrific, and Hubert did an amazing job with his team.
You might have answered a little bit of this already here with that last point, but when you decided that this was going to be your last year, did you envision sort of what the season was going to be like, what this moment would be like? Has it lived up to that? And have you had any sort of second thoughts along the way of like, hey, this is pretty fun. Why am I doing this again?
No, it's been a long year and a really good year. When I met with President Price and told him that I would like to stay for one more year, I wanted to let him know that I was already thinking if it was in his plan to still have me for that year, but that I wanted to announce it during the spring or, during that time so that the program could move on while I was here for that 1 year. I thought that was a good way of succession. And then when they decided who they wanted as their coach, it worked out great. And I told John and the guys, you guys go out and recruit all summer. I'm going to know this team. I am going to dive in this team deeper than I've been able to do because you have to go out and recruit all the time. And so I know my guys. And I wanted this year, I wanted it to be a really good coaching job, not a retirement year, and to stay hungry. And I think I have, and I will until this is done. And when it's over, anyone who thinks that I'm going to hover around and do anything with the program, you're wrong. I'm ready to move, not from Durham, but I'm not now. And it won't impact how I prepare for these next few weeks. It won't. I mean, I've done this almost 50 years. I'm not going to let that happen. So I didn't know record-wise. I thought we'd be pretty good, and we have been. We've been a really good basketball team, and we got a chance. We got a chance next week, and we'll have a chance the following week. And when it's done, I'll be able to walk away and say, we did our job. And hopefully that means really a good job. But, I critique myself as much as you all might at different times critique me, or which is what you should do, or praise or whatever. I critique myself harder than anybody. And we've done a good job. Now we've got to learn from this and do another good job. So, I've loved coaching. I've loved coaching. I want to, this will be, it's not my last game. This is my last game in Cameron. But it seemed like it was your last game. That's another part of it. Like, no, it's not. And so, so many people are saying great things about you and whatever, and you got to say, it's not over yet, and now you get a chance to say how crappy we did, which is, you're right. You're right. So you probably won't use that word, though.
Coach, you mentioned a couple times this year the team hasn't been as hungry as they should have, or as hungry as you would have liked. Is that a lesson they needed to learn one more time?
Yeah, and it's tough to find somebody who's hungry all the time. That there are only so many Kobe Bryants in the world, and we're all, we can all be beaten by human nature. the ones that do it really well aren't beaten that much. They got a really high winning percentage against human nature. And so when you say not hungry, it's tough to stay at that level when you've already eaten well. Like, we just wanted to, we had a big meal. And then you got, when's the next meal? And we weren't ready for that.
Yeah, I know you just spent a little time with the players, not much because you were
Yeah.
out there, but what feedback did you get from them, especially in terms of they can get past this
No,
and crank it back
I
up
didn't get
again,
any
you know?
feedback because today's not a day where they should listen to me. I'm not going to listen to them. They talked for 40 minutes. I should give them feedback on how then they should have talked a hell of a lot more on defense tonight. They didn't talk at all on defense. And that's why in the second half, our defense just was horrible. And it was in front of their bench. So we, on my staff, couldn't help us on defense. And, no, but I mean, look, I love my team. I hated how today went. And you move on. We're 0-0.
Mike, you said that you didn't think that you would cry, and I think a lot of people would presume in these circumstances that almost anyone would cry. Why didn't you think you would?
Well, I try not to, although I've learned from being with my wife and my 3 daughters, a guy can cry, and that's not too often, but it's okay. And I just didn't, I was trying to beat my own emotion to make sure then I wasn't coaching me during that time, to get over it. And when you do, it means a lot. Just all this stuff means a lot. And the clock's ticking, where you know there's an ending. And today, Cameron has been such a very special place for me. And I'm disappointed I was not able to honor it today at the level that it needed to be honored.
What was it like seeing, sorry, over here.
Oh, sir.
What was it like in the tunnel at the beginning, physically seeing so many former players coming back to town, all lined up from the locker room all the way to center court like that?
Yeah, well, they're all friends, and our lives have intertwined, whether it doesn't matter whether they were a walk-on or, and that doesn't even save the managers that are back. When you're here this long, you develop that level of relationship with these guys, and that's something I never knew starting in coaching that could happen, that you would eventually be friends with these guys and have impact on them while they're adults, and helping them make decisions or, that's been wonderful. That's been so you see them and you try not to get into a story about each one, but the fact that they're all here, it was their way of saying, Coach, thanks. I appreciate it. I know that, and when this is done, and a lot of guys called. Luol was in Africa, Kyrie, Quinn Snyder, these guys, Mason, they got games tonight, Trey, and all of them. So there's been a lot going on, but it's all beautiful. It just, okay, now it's done. It's a little bit of relief. I wish it would have been done and we won. But it's over. And again, I appreciate all the attention that you all have given our program and these guys. So, okay, thank you.